Maybe it's all I need. Moments like this with my family. Nothing compares to how it feels Christmas time. I remember those days when the nights got cold. Leaning on each other made our hearts grow more. Nothing compares to the love at Christmas time.
It's that time of year to get exactly what you wishing. It's time to be around all the ones to keep you lifted. It's time for all the hugs and the mistletoe kisses. Not me, cause I'm a P. But good luck with your missus. This is merry as I'm getting. Swear to God. And I might have had a Christmas that I ain't get a thing that was on my wish list. I celebrated still because I knew that I was gifted. Put that on the count. I'm just one of God's children. So I be giving every chance I get. I'm in the spirit. I remember when it wasn't there. My ass was teary, but we still made good of what we had. This perseverance. I'm so blessed to have my mom and dad. They birthed the bad. Happy holidays to you and all of your relations. And happy holidays to all our folks that couldn't make it, yeah. I went all the way to the North Pole to cop these bracelets. I got ice for ages. May your Christmas be amazing.
Maybe it's all I need. Moments like this with my family. Nothing compares to how it feels Christmas time. I remember those days when the nights got cold. Leaning on each other made our hearts grow more. Nothing compares to the love at Christmas time.
In that snow today, new toy look like Santa sleigh. With these diamonds on so bright, that red eye lead me through the night. I ain't trying to check no list, boy, is you naughty or you nice? I might leave these cookies on this plate if you gon' take a bite. Come sit on my lap, I ain't Santa, but I stay giving it. Draped down in this Christian Dior, yeah, this just my Christmas feet. Tree so high inside my house, I sat on top cause I'm a star. I got presents for my dogs, these little boys getting Christmas cards. What you doing with that set, with that bag? Yeah. I'm the biggest helper Santa ever had. He can get whatever daddy want, he got good head. Certified trick, I get it from my dad. I'm out in that snow today. New toy look like Santa sleigh. With these diamonds on so bright, that red eye lead me through the night.
Maybe it's all I need. Moments like this with my family. Nothing compares to how it feels Christmas time.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our football segment of episode 171 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We had to restart the transmission, but we got everything here. Falcons update. Falcons up 12-3. Got the Raiders pinned down to the 2-yard line. Our punter has been the best player on our team today. So not surprising. Don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Well, I do know.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Let me help you out. It's terrible. When your punter is the best person on your team and you're playing against one of your former draft picks and everybody's playing terrible, embarrassing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But thanks y'all for tuning in. If you're listening to the recording or you're watching this on YouTube, go back and watch the HBCU segment. Go back and watch the pregame as well. Got a few things we're going to talk about today in college football since the bowl season doesn't start until tomorrow. And we're not picking all the bowl games of those. It's really just the playoffs or the playoffs. We'll talk about the playoffs on Saturday. We may have to start a little early because they start at 12. But we should be able to AJ Terrell, that's how you feel? Laid that man out, Lord.
Drop that hammer on him, boy.
It hurt too. AJ Terrell just laid the Raiders running back out. Now that's the same dude that been running over everybody else too.
Yeah, he said not today.
But so we got a few things. Stay. Hey, we got a few things we're gonna talk about today, man. We're gonna talk about the Heisman, of course. We'll get there. We're gonna talk about coaches. There's been some coaching movement, and I really want to talk about. But what I wanted to talk about, the first thing I wanted to talk about today was the transfer portal. Well, let me set it up before I ask my questions or start the conversation with this question. As of yesterday, nearly 2,000 players have entered the transfer portal. 2,000. It's only been open since Monday. Is the transfer portal / NIL the combination ruining football? Ruining college football?
Nope. People being stupid ruining football. I can tell you one thing without a shadow of a doubt. I don't have to look at what y'all did last year. All 2,000 people do not need to be looking for a new school. Some of y'all need to stay right at the school where y'all was at. Some of y'all might lucky to have been at the last place.
And what y'all gonna stay in the portal. Oh, go ahead. That's what you was about to say. My bad.
You right. The portal for some of y'all is the end.
Purgatory.
No, it's not purgatory. I'll tell you why. Because purgatory is between heaven and hell. You's in hell. Ain't gonna stay there. Purgatory, you be looking like, well, if I could just get. You're never gonna get there. Some of y'all, the last place you're gonna be is in the transfer portal. You're gonna just disappear like one of the Avengers. Doctor Strange. Boom, gonna knock your soul out. Gone. That's it. And I ain't gonna feel bad for you because you should have kept your ass in school. Because number one, what is you? Student before athlete. And that's the problem.
Well, I agree. There is a problem with that. But there's also a second thing of, there's a lot of predatory practices going on. And this, kids are being told to enter the transfer portal by, representation or by parents that have that are overbearing and don't have the best interests at heart. And I do think it's kind of ruining football the way that it is. I think this iteration has to be changed soon and very soon, just because you're going to have to figure out a way to not only use the NIL, but protect the players from themselves as well. I guess part of it is you're a grown man now. You're getting paid.
Correct. You don't get the same protections as a child as an adult. You are paid. A lot of you guys are paid handsomely. We will talk about one guy in particular who is getting paid more than many of his professional counterparts. And I'm under the belief that he probably got paid a lot to go to that high school.
Oh, basketball? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me,
100%.
That's a part of it. I mean, there's good and bad, and there's bad and good. And this is just one of the bad parts. It's a bad byproduct of a better system, a free agency system. You don't have to be stuck. Remember, we was growing up, how many players was like, oh, man, I went to this school and it sucks, but I'm just kind of here and I don't want to transfer and lose my credits and all the rest of that, and then I'm going to have to sit. If you want that ability, then that's what comes with it.
How many of these players do you think would have transferred if the rules were you still had to sit out a year?
300, maybe, probably less than that. Probably about whatever.
And that's part of it. Like you start to get to the point of, well, one, you also lose any type of love or leverage that you had, because now players are starting to do the thing like, what's his name? Jack Plyburn. So Plyburn has, with 1 year, Pyburn, sorry, no L. With one, one year,
L. This is an L.
With so 1 year left, 1 year left of eligibility, he transfers from Florida to LSU. Now, he was a key cog in the defense for Florida this year. I think he had like 7 sacks, if I'm not mistaken. But he made demands afterwards and said he wants alleged, because he's come out and denied this after he signed with LSU, but he demanded after the season that Florida give him $45,000 a month in NIL to stay. Guaranteed starting position. Mind you, Billy has been on a recruiting tear the last
And Billy
45
don't
days.
have a guarantee for himself no further than week 1. Every week he week to week. Let me tell you, I've been waiting on Billy to get fired. So how he gonna guarantee you a damn thing? Pie Burn. Now I'm gonna tell you this. My bad. I ain't have to hijack your point, but I'm mad. He went to a team. We whooped now. Brian Kelly now. And I thought that he was gonna be decent. It's questionable around there. It's questionable. People disassociate themselves with him like they are Diddy. They getting away from him. And you gonna run over there. Who can I run to? Escape? Oh, okay, good luck. And I don't mean good luck. I mean, you know what I really want to say, but you chasing the money. Now, as far as NFL scouts go, this doesn't change anything because you're going to pay them to play. But if it don't work out, I ain't going to be sad.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, oh, also, he wanted to be a full-time third down edge rusher and never come off the field is what he wanted to do.
I might be able to understand that.
Yeah, not at Florida. Not as bad as Florida has been over the last few years. Florida is still Florida, and they're still going to be able to get those recruits. And now they've kind of seen what the NIL does.
Now,
What?
go ahead and then because I had.
I'm not shitting on y'all. You always think I'm shitting on y'all.
No, not at all. I was gonna say, I'll just interject this real quick. I want to see what his snaps look like and where he plays next year to see if he got what he asked for. Because that's the other part. I might lie to you. I don't care.
No, you can't lie. It's a contract. After the whole Jaden Rashada thing, you
It ain't no contract that says that you're a third down edge rusher and you're gonna play every third down. No, it don't.
you
tell
can
me
put that
you
in your
gonna
NIL contract.
start. Oh, all right.
can.
Good luck.
I'm
And
not
that
saying it will
and-
happen, but I'm saying
Yeah,
it can
and then what happens when he welches on the deal and don't do it? What you gonna do? You gonna take him to court? He's like,
Possibly.
hey, look at the tape. He sucks.
happen.
And one thing the coach is gonna do is find the tape where you suck.
Hey. Pause.
Don't be on tape sucking.
But there's a
take that however you will. And if, you know what?
hey.
I'm gonna turn this mother out.
So there's a I mean, even like same thing, Bear Alexander. So Bear Alexander started at Georgia, committed to Georgia by getting the G tatted on his bicep, and won a national championship with Georgia. He was number 99. He was behind Jalen Carter and all of them.
From the state of Georgia.
No, he's from Texas.
Then this is egregious.
Bear Alexander was at Georgia. He was in line to be the next great Georgia defensive lineman after Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. He then left and went to USC. It caught everybody off guard, but USC, and the famous thing was he had like all this ice and chains on, and he had that penthouse apartment in downtown LA, on the top floor in downtown LA.
Boy, I'm gonna tell you, and that was May 25th, 2003. I'm gonna tell you, it ain't no apartment like that one in LA, big dog. When you get there, what is that? State College, Pennsylvania, where they gonna have you? It ain't gonna look like LA. And that G, you thought it stood for Georgia. It stands for going other places.
So he hasn't committed to Penn State. It's just one spot. But this is definitely a picture that describes the NIL era. He has a tattoo of Georgia in a Penn State recruiting visit while tweeting from a account with his USC profile on there. Like he has three schools in one video, in one post.
And then he has a go back, because I just see things. He has a jersey covered in deodorant. Like, bro, if take a brush your deodorant off the jersey so you don't look like you've been out there getting drugged in the ground or whatever. Like, it's just those type of things. But going to Penn State, you'll never win a big game there.
And so you're starting to see college and high school football start to turn into like high school, what high school basketball turned into. So high school basketball, Kevin Durant was one of them, where you just go play on different teams every year. Bear Alexander played at 4 different high schools. He then went to Georgia.
But that's different. Kevin Durant did that as a professional basketball player.
No, I'm talking about in high school. Kevin Durant played for like 4 different high schools.
Oh. Well, yeah, he only played for one college.
For 1 year, yeah. And of course, you can't do that in football. And then he went and played at Georgia, USC, 3 games in 2024, then self-redshirt, and now he's going somewhere else. Dog, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 schools in 7 years. But this is the life that you create, though.
I don't feel bad for him. You're digging yourself into a hole, though. I will tell you that much.
Another example, Malachi Nelson.
Go back, because I want to talk about that a little bit longer. If I'm a GM, if I'm a head coach, this has like the brightest red flags that you could possibly have. You can't. You're not fighting through adversity. You're not willing to stick it out. You're not winning. You're not even. Let's be real. USC's defense was not good enough for you not to like be the man there. You've not been the man in any of these places out of high school, maybe.
He was the man at Georgia. They were like he should start, but Kirby kept talking about his work ethic. But he had 2.5 sacks in the national championship game. Like he was good. He just loafing. You're loafing. That was him. You're a loafer.
Yeah. But yeah, when I'm looking at a guy, okay, you might have been good at Georgia. Well, there's a lot of help on that team. Let's be real here. There's a ton of help on that team. Not saying that you might not be good, but one of the things that I've learned this year, shout out again, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna say it a million times what Nav Green said. I gotta find people I can lose with. This is not a guy you can lose with. If you lose or things don't go his way, I'm out of here. He's made that very clear. Any expectation other than that? So I guess you're gonna go play with the Chiefs? I surely don't want him in Atlanta.
Nah, but I mean, this is a conversation that could. This is also where you're going to start seeing contracts go. Baseball is going to be the only place you're going to see multiple players with 15, 8, 10, 12-year contracts. LeBron has already started that in basketball. Yeah. It's going to be the same in football. After your rookie contract, it's going to be 2-3-year deals, and they're going to be moving around. This is going to be the new sports, whether you know it or not. This is what sports is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I still think to a lesser degree, like in the pros, because you still have a fan base to serve. They're just not going to let you. Everybody don't have the ability to move around like that. Are there certain guys in NFL, in the NBA who can force their way out? Yes. So there's certain guys in NFL who can force their way out? Yes. That means you have to be the best. If you're forcing your way out and your ass, they're letting you go. There's a difference between demanding out and getting put out.
Yeah, he was definitely kind of let go. But think about it. Think about all the players that have left. I can't even keep up with. Shout out to Lights on College Sports again. They post everything, and they keep up with all the transfers. Malachi Nelson was the #1 recruit in 2023. He's entered the transfer portal twice. He left USC. He then went to Boise State. Did not win the job at Boise State. Redshirted and left, and he's going somewhere else this year. He has not played a down in college. And he's already going to his 3rd team. Jake Pope, his was a little different. Nick Saban retired, transferred to Georgia, had the stupid video of Ole Miss. Kirby called him dumb. Didn't play it down at Georgia. Left Alabama, Georgia, going to his 3rd team. Before you play it down.
That situation is a little different. Nick Saban leaves, I'm probably out the door too. Rightfully-ish so. You got to the right place. That video, I don't think that video necessarily did him in. I think it was just like, hey, let me just move myself. Let me remove myself. because at the end of the day, it just looked weird. But I get it. Like if you play sports, especially at that level, you're gonna have friends and family that play for other sports. And yeah, you might have lost or whatever it is. You still my brother at the end of the day, just because you play for a different team. A lot of this stuff 20 years ago, you just don't get caught on camera. It's just now there's a camera everywhere, people watching you. But hey, at the end of the day, after it's over, it's over. I was just listening to Chris Paul talk about him and Tony Parker playing Nintendo Wii in the middle of the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, I hear you. But in terms of the portal, like, they also got to change when the portal opens, right? Especially in the fall. Because, for example, there's been three or four players now, actually more than that now, but Julian Humphrey from Georgia was number one. He was the first person to enter the portal from UGA, and it was right before the SEC championship game against Texas. He ends up committing to Texas A&M. Penn State backup quarterback has to end up, what's his name? Penn State's backup quarterback then has to go and choose between entering the transfer portal or missing the window and staying with his team for the college football playoff and waiting until the spring transfer portal. Can't do that because the spring transfer portal is like spring signing day. Everybody's already signed in the early signing period.
Already. I'm booked, man.
You gotta finalize your roster so you can finalize your NIL deal, so you can finalize your books and all of those things now, because all of those things are now tied together. So now he had to basically write it.
You're trying to spend your NIL money. I'm trying to go ahead and, I mean, it's just like everywhere else. I'm trying to sign my player early so that I don't have to worry about. I mean, which, especially as much as these kids are flipping and doing the rest of this, but it does put them behind the 8 ball, because if you lose your quarterback,
you stuck.
I mean, I guess it's not.
Both of y'all are stuck.
It's not really.
It's the time frame.
Really any different. Yeah, it's not really any different than players opting out of the bowl game. He's just essentially opting out for a different reason.
But he didn't want to. But to me, you're opting out because you have to. He's not being given a choice. Like either you stay here or you leave.
Opt out to me.
But you should. To me, the rules should be changed to where you don't have to opt out. If y'all gonna have this, then you should be able to. You should postpone the transfer portal until, because you also have the thing of where kids are committing to the transfer portal, and then the coaches are leaving, and then then they have to go back into the portal.
Why do the Raiders have a sign that says "Tank for Shador"? They're crazy. Yeah, there are some timing things that college football has to get taken care of. Me and you've talked about, as far as HBCUs and being able to get in and out of Celebration Bowl and still compete for the champion. I mean, and compete for the playoffs. The transfer portal. But you have so many different moving pieces and so many different, to a certain degree, personal agendas that it's kind of difficult to accommodate everybody. But there needs to be a more concerted effort on trying to fix this thing, because it's important.
Yeah, and man, y'all got to fix some things, because look what y'all doing to youth sports. Dog, this is Ja'Shawn Harris. Juice is what they call him. He has announced that he's entering the transfer portal of rec ball, where he said, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the West Orlando Jags organization for allowing me to play on their 6 and under tackle football team. Blah, 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 blah. I have 1 year of eligibility remaining to play 6 and under football in the 2025 season. Obviously, his parents put this together, but I did a little research on this. Kids are doing this more and more, and the parents are saying, if you want my son to play on your team, I need like a PS5, 12 pair of J's, and this, that, and the third. What the hell?
I ain't finna let my pressure get up tonight.
I can't believe that you're now having a rec ball transfer portal.
I mean, I guess for me, this is what I think it's always been. These are the teams that these parents put together. Yeah, and these coaches want to get on the coaching scene. So yeah, they're, going in there, that pot of money that they got with all these sponsorships and all the rest of this. And yeah, they paying players. I mean, I guess growing up in like between like AAU, and I've seen it enough just in rec leagues. Yeah, there's some finagling going on all the time. But you're also 4'4", 49 pounds, fam. Get off of the internet. Go outside, touch some real grass. And whoever parents like either did Photoshop this themselves or paid somebody to do this, need a life.
This is worse. I was critical of the baby Gronk dad because he had his son committed to 15 different schools at middle school and all of these other things, putting that out to keep his son relevant and all that stuff. This is worse to me.
Y'all look like losers, and it's just weird. Like, I remember when football was, hey, I play at this rec because this is in my neighborhood. I play at this school because this is where I live. That's it. Now, I know it was still people back then using their auntie address, using their grandma address. But now it's just like that's the thing for everybody to just.
It is. At what point? It's the sport.
Yeah. At what point does it's diminishing the sport to me now? Everything is about going to find somebody else to get together with. What happened to back in the day where, hey, this is where we're going to play, and we're going to play good, and we're going to play tough, and we're going to produce players instead of trying to acquire players.
Because you're getting paid now.
I blame basketball AAU for all of this, though.
It was the start of it. Basketball AAU was the start of it. Then you got the football when counties started paying players to go play in like Beaufort, and they would rent a house to the family for $1. They get them from like the hood or whatever. Or get them from the country, because it's not just black players. Y'all always
Nick Saban kidnaps a small Samoan family and brings them to Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
From Hawaii. That was cool.
Wow. In what world do you say I will pack up all of my worldly belongings in Hawaii, a literal vacation destination,
and move to Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
Man.
Now,
and then Nick Saban, you got the nerve to get out of here. Now you got some audacity tucked away too. We ain't gonna talk about it, but I see it.
Now, I did want to bring up before we move on from this transfer portal NIL discussion. I told y'all, we talked about this a while ago when Tennessee tried to pass the NIL fees on to the ticket holders. You remember that? And they were like, we instituting a $100 per ticket per game NIL fee or whatever. And you were like, that'll never work. And I said, they're going to have to pass the cost on to somebody. The schools are going to be selling out more money than they're going to make eventually. That's just how it's going to go. And what happened? Well, I was surprised that this happened, but this isn't the only one. Mike Norvell is contributing $4.5 million of his own salary to the Florida State University NIL initiatives. He is not the only coach. He's the only one that I have a picture of. But there's also Brian Kelly, who is donating $1 million of his own, or he's matching $1 million worth of donations to go to the NIL. After he lost literally everybody. He lost his entire signing class. He lost his most of his freshmen. And Kyle Pitts, you dropped that. So I told you that money would have to come from somewhere, and they are starting. I'd be mad if I was somebody. They're starting to pass it on to the coaches.
Mike Gundy got hit with this too. Don't forget.
Yeah. Oh, Mike. Yeah, you're right. They had to renegotiate his contract. They taking their money back.
Well, this is what this really is. Because now this goes two ways for me. Because there's going to be an action, but what do we know about an action? There shall be a reaction. Mm-hmm. The first thing is this is the extension or continuation if you sub. You got two options here. You can give some of this money to the NIL to help yourself out, or we're gonna fire you. Which one do you want to do? Oh, I'll give some of the money back. Now,
I'd rather
my concern
$5 million versus $0.
Yes. Now, my concern is, and then it's 4.5 million. If they're smart, I don't give you all the 4.5 million at one time. I'll give you each year. I'll give you 1 million out of my salary.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
give-
yeah. It would definitely
Yeah.
only be 50,000 a month, something like that.
So it's a continuation, but this is cool right now. But I'm gonna tell you, it's not cool right now. I'm gonna be very honest. This is actually fucked up. They're saying you suck. So yeah. So like what fans talk about is what they're doing. Hey, you suck. Give us the money back. Stop stealing. So that's what's gonna happen now. But when you find that when Kirby hits for 2 or 3 championships, I don't care what, tear up my contract. I want more money right now, and I'm hit you for it. I'm like, if you're taking money back from coaches, then I'm swinging for the fences when I got a chance.
I don't think that will apply to coaches like Kirby. It'll apply to Ryan Day. As now that Nick Saban has retired, I think that Kirby is the only rule that won't apply to. I think Kirby is
for now. There will be somebody else soon and very soon who's going to be the guy. And when he's the guy, I hope he rob him blind. Because if not, they're gonna take your money back. That's what they're telling you. If you have a bad season, if I'm Mike Norvell, I'm probably telling them where they can shove it. Because when we had the season, like basically
you ain't give me no money when we went 13-0. I see what you're saying.
Exactly. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you want to play these games, we're gonna play both ways.
Ooh, I ain't think about it that way. So if you play both ways, now I'm interception. Thank you, Lord. Ritter is awful.
Let me tell you that. Hey, hold on 1 second. Arthur Smith, you're an idiot. You are dumb. And if there's anything that anybody should understand, they doing the dirty bird. Y'all not good enough to do the dirty bird. But Arthur Smith,
man.
You should be fired. You deserve to be fired from everything.
Not from everything. They the number 2 team in the they're number 4 team in the
I've been telling y'all all these teams are scams.
It's only a scam because it's Arthur Smith. That's the funny thing.
Nah, that team is a scam because they don't have. That quarterback situation is bad. But yes, for this, you can't take my money when I play bad, but then not give me more money when I play good. No, that ain't fair. That's not right. And at the end of the day, that's just not good business.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to some other coaching news. Now this guy right here. Okay. Turn off your camera.
I'm here.
Oh.
I turn it back on. Yeah.
Marcus Freeman. Last week, see, this is why Google be Googling. Last week, we talked about, hey, Marcus Freeman, if they get rid of Brian Kelly, he may go to LSU. And then he started being linked to jobs like the Chicago Bears. He started being linked to jobs like in the NFL. And I was like, well, he might not go to LSU, but he will sure enough go to the NFL because they view him as a leader of men. Notre Dame said, black man, we learned our lesson from the last black guy that we did wrong. We are going to keep you here, Marcus Freeman. He signed a 4-year contract extension. He is now under contract for 6 more years in South Bend.
Boo! This is terrible. Why would you do this?
Shout out to the black man getting paid, though.
I'm not even happy that you got paid. Like, this is the scary move to me. This is the safest move that you can make. I think you're a better coach than this. I think you deserve a better program. I think you deserve a better team. I actually think that you're a good, like an elite coach with an elite program. But you're going to stay in this safe cocoon where the expectations are moderate. You have everything that you could ask for. But let me tell you, when you don't perform, They will come get that money back from you for sure. For sure.
What is not performing? He's guaranteed a playoff spot now. Guaranteed. For the next 6 years, he should make the playoff. Unless they force them to join somewhere, he will make the playoff every single year. There's nothing here. And the transfer portal, I've been watching. He's landed like 4 players, and he's got the NFL players. They all love him for some reason. All their sons going there. He's got the NFL player. He got the gene pipeline.
I mean, I think he goes somewhere and probably make more money and actually accomplish something.
More money than at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a reason why they didn't put the number on there too. No.
Oh no, now we can find that out.
I'm sure this is a good amount of money that he's getting paid. Notre Dame is the biggest brand, top 3 brand in college football. I would say Notre Dame and Alabama are the most recognizable brands in college football.
Come on, tell me how much he got.
3 and 4 being USC and probably Texas. Those are your top 4, but Notre Dame got to be number 1. They have their own TV deal. They got their own TV deal. They got their own channel. Texas couldn't even do that.
You're right. They got that tucked. They don't say anything. It says it runs through 2030. Come on, tell me.
Nah, ain't no money. Listen, the money.
Hold on. Freeman 38 drew $6.69 million in total compensation as a first-time head coach in 2022. That left Freeman outside of the top 25 highest-paid coaches at the level as a private university. They are not made public. Ugh.
Told you. They paying him $10 million a year easy. Because Kirby get $10 million. And Kirby's like, they paying him easy. I know he getting paid more than Brian Kelly. You know they're not paying him less than him.
I guess they're robbing blind, bro. They robbing us, so you rob them. Scam is a scam.
That would be hilariously funny if he turns out to be the best coach. Well, he won't be because they won in the 30s when they didn't let blacks play. But if he turns out to be the best Notre Dame coach in modern history.
The Falcons suck and Desmond Ridder sucks.
Yep. Speaking of coaches, Marshall, who lost their coach Charles
Fire Elmo right here,
who lost Charles Huff to Southern Miss after they refused to pay him anymore. They have now. Marshall, all of the players have entered the portal following Huff to Southern Mississippi. And they had to back out of the Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana. And couldn't participate because they don't have a football team right now. I ain't gonna lie, I've never seen that. I didn't see that coming at all. Pause.
I love this. I love this. I'm gonna tell you why. Coach Huff put on a masterclass here. Didn't wild out. Oh, y'all don't want to sign me? That's fine. I'll bet on myself.
I'll be back. Wait, right here.
No. Yeah. Don't sign me, and I'm not signing this 360 deal because that's what they're trying to sign him into a deal.
That's what Marshall is right now.
What they were gonna do was they had a bunch of outs. Ways for him not to
get paid.
For them not to pay him. Exactly. He said, no, I'm not going to take that deal. Won the conference. And then at that point, they tried to renegotiate. I think he said, no, I'm good. Especially, I think Southern Miss had made him an offer that I don't think he could refuse.
They definitely made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
So at that point, he's secured his money. He's gotten away from this. And let's just say what it is. This predatory team is trying to sign him to a predatory deal. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to put his back in the corner, head in the vice. So for me, this is what you get. Now, I really love the fact that he has enough influence that he has so many players willing and ready in the portal that they can't even participate in the bowl. this does a couple things. Number one, it's a slap in the face to all your alumni. Like Marshall's not, they're not a team where you can just be like, oh no, we're not going to a bowl. Like, no, we're not doing that now. You still got Chad Pennington, you got Randy Moss. They've had players. And number two, you're taking away an opportunity. Like, they were going to get paid. You get paid from a bowl game. This athletic department, oh my goodness. This athletic department gets paid if they go to a bowl game. They're not going to pay you for a bowl game if you can't participate. It costs you more to let him walk out the door than have paid him. You cut your nose off to spite your face. And I love it.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, this is another Travis Hunter kind of changed the game too by saying, because he put it out there. I'm not saying he was the one that came up with the philosophy, but he definitely put it out there where he said, don't follow the school, follow the coach. You don't play for a school, you play for a coach, and follow Deion. This is the same thing where you follow the coach, you don't play at the school. And now coaches may get a little bit of get back in negotiation when it comes to, because we just talked about, hey, you're going to get that money back to NIL. All right, now when I win, either you're going to pay me or I'm going to leave. No.
And hold on. I'm trying to look and see what the Independence Bowl payout was.
Oh, it ain't much. It's in Shreveport, dog. They ain't paying you.
No. Here it is. In 2022, it was $2 million. So it's definitely more than that now. And you just out. You don't have a way to get it back. And then Huff got his 1 point, whatever he got too. This is the double up. You got hit twice. You don't have a coach. You don't have a team. And you didn't get the money for the bowl. This is a organization that's mismanaging assets. Some people gonna get fired for this. And on top of that, the poor coach you got to take over, you got to fix this.
Yeah. I don't know who you get. That was my last question before we move on to Bill Belichick. With the way that this system, with the way that this staff was left wide open and just getting destroyed, Marshall is behind the 8 ball in that they need a coach. Everybody's been hired, including Bill Belichick. Like, Marshall is kind of stuck.
No. They got Tony Gibson.
Marshall?
Yeah, hold on. It says college football team may face punishment for withdrawing from bowl game. Ooh, this could get worse. We should consider legislation that requires programs to accept invitations and commit to bowl games to play in bowl games, you can't make people play in the bowl game. You surely can't make them play in the bowl game.
But what you can do is push the transfer portal past. You could push the transfer portal past the bowl season. You can just have a spring transfer portal. That's the answer. Because this will never not happen.
It says Tony Gibson jumped right into the recruiting at Marshall. In his first head coaching job after nearly 3 decades as an assistant, the roster took an immediate hit when Charles Huff was named head coach of Southern Miss. He was defensive coordinator at North Carolina State. And Gibson held a meeting after arriving on campus at Huntington to introduce himself, following up with phone calls, text messages, and meetings. Oh, yeah, he's begging. He calling and begging. Ooh, I love this, man. Because you could just pay black people what the fuck they deserve. But you chose to try to take advantage of them. And now he done left you in shambles. Good. You deserve it. And you deserve more of it. You cheap mofos. Good luck. And I don't mean it. You can go to hell. Coach Huff is a good coach, man.
He was a really good coach. Y'all screwed the pooch on that one. Because he wanted to stay. He could have gone a whole lot of other places last year and he stayed. But hey, Bill Belichick, North Carolina goes from the oldest coach in NCAA football to having the oldest coach in NCAA football with 72-year-old Bill Belichick, who is now the head coach. I assume this is a 1-year deal after looking at the parameters of his contract. So we also are going to congratulate the University of North Carolina for effectively hiring Stephen Belichick as the next head coach of the University of North Carolina football team.
Talk about organizations mismanaging assets. This is bad. It's stupid. It's not going to work. Nothing. Bill Belichick and 16-year-old boys is never going to work. You got to be clear because he do have a 24-year-old girlfriend. So he can recruit some college coaches. But I don't think that he is going to do nearly as well with the boys as he has done with the girls. So for me, this is a terrible idea. I think that everything about this is a train wreck. And there was no need for this. You could have left them back.
You could have left the 16-year-old boys alone. Like you could.
No, I want to see it. I want to see.
You want to see it best with 16-year-old boys?
See what you did was you put the operational word of mess. I said recruit. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I definitely want to see.
Well, that's from the Cam Newton vocabulary right there.
I think this is stupid. I think this is a train wreck. I think that once again, North Carolina, you get everything you deserve with this. And let's be real, Hubie ain't doing the greatest job over there at basketball either. Y'all need to do a long, hard look at your athletics overall. Yeah. I mean, I want to be very honest. UNC ain't even the UNC of old. There are no Julius Peppers walking around there. And it ain't no Michael Jordans walking around either.
Yeah. And you also put a target on your back because a lot of people are going to want to try to beat Bill Belichick. You will say, hey, I never lost to Bill Belichick as a coach.
Got them 16-year-old boys back.
Hey, man. So North Carolina State quarterback C.J. Bailey says Bill Belichick can catch these L's too when saying how does he feel about him being a coach. So I do think that this also puts a target on your back from a player's perspective. Dabo Swinney, SMU, you now give a whole bunch of people an opportunity to say, I defeated Bill Belichick in football, which in the NFL, that wasn't going to happen with a lot of these players. So it's going to be interesting. It's not going to be interesting. I think this is going to be an epic failure. But again, I don't
know that this doesn't make sense.
He's only going to be there a year, though. He's only going to be there a year. Like, we know he's only going to be there a year. We know
why do it?
Because nepotism. You set your son up to have a coaching job. And that means and I don't got to take you to the NFL with me because you're not a good coach to be in the NFL yet.
Hold on. Let's cover a couple things Reggie said there that I'm just not understanding. Bill Belichick can't call and get his son a job?
Not a head coaching job.
Without having to go to work?
Not a head coaching job, no. He has basically a head coaching job in waiting.
He already have a job at North Dakota somewhere?
Not a head coaching job. He is the coach in waiting.
Steve. He was a defensive coordinator at Washington. Dog, if you're the defensive coordinator at the University of Washington, you're a step away from coaching UNC.
He was there.
You gotta be.
Now you're a step away from having. He ain't even got an interview. He ain't got an interview, dog. He ain't got to go over there and campaign. He ain't got to lay out no plan. Like, his dad is doing all the work for him. It's nepotism. And it's going to work.
It's not going to work. It's
for him, for Steven, it will.
He going to get fired too. Now, this is the other part, bro. They don't, UNC, okay, cool story. But let me tell you, if the Lakers move on from LeBron, Bronny, your ass going to go too. Let me tell you, it's not that deep. We're not family. We're not friends. We work at the same place. It's that simple. And when you don't work here, we don't work anymore. It's that simple.
Well,
And Bill Belichick not going to the NFL?
That's why
He's not going.
well, that's why his buyout goes down from like 10 million or whatever it is to like $1 million after June of next year. So like he can leave basically whenever they can buy him out. He can leave whenever he wants to, which means he has, and he's not gonna give up $9 million, which means he's not gonna stay there long. It's a wrap.
Why,
He's not staying there.
what does Bill Belichick need $9 more million for? Respectfully, the man got all.
Well, I mean, he does have a 24-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah, bro. I guess it depends on how you look at that. That could might be expensive.
I was waiting for the gears to turn for you to figure. Hey,
But at 24, does she know nice things? That's one of the
tricking if
never
you
had
got
nothing
it, trick,
nice
tricking
before.
if you got it, trick, trick. Oh, why do you assume that? You think that Bill Belichick was the first rich person she's met? Come on, man.
Well, I hope so. You can't have it.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Bro, that's a
How did you even get in? How did you even
that's
get into room to meet Bill Belichick?
bro. That's a 2020 Altima, bro. It ain't got that many miles on that thing. Like, come on now.
A 2020 Altima has 400 million miles on it. An Altima? Well, you drive that thing underwater.
Let's get back on track. Actually,
All right. Heisman. Travis Hunter wins the Heisman. He is the 2024 Heisman Trophy winner, fulfilling literally we're about to lose this game. Literally fulfilling almost every goal that he and Coach Prime said that they were going to do. Only thing they didn't get to do was make it to the playoff, which they choked that away against Kansas, the University of Kansas. They dropped a defensive tackle. Wow. I mean, hey, that's good. That's good defense, Raiders. It worked. But yeah, so Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winner. Were you surprised?
Congratulations to Travis. No, if you go back and listen to last week's pod, I told y'all it was going to be Travis. I do think that Ashton Jeanty in any other year wins the Heisman. He's a Heisman caliber player.
That's
it's unfortunate. I know that y'all are upset that he said he thinks that he deserved it. I guess they were upset because he felt like he deserved it. Well, clearly it came to, number one, belief in self. Number two, it came down to the thinnest of margins for anybody to decide. I just think that what Travis did, we've never, ever seen anybody do this much on both sides of the ball. That's really the only thing that I could really stand on, but that is quite the feat. So for me, it is surely deserved. Ashton Jeanty, I think that you'll get your opportunity to flourish in the NFL. But congratulations to Travis. You've given us something that we never thought we'd see before. And I think that you may have opened at least an opportunity for players to say, hey, I want to do both, and I can do both. And he's the first technically athlete to ever win the Heisman.
Yes. A lot of things here. It is the thinnest of margins. And this is what happens when you have an out of world season and somebody else has an out of galaxy season. Like if you look at the total things that Ashton Jeanty did, he didn't break any records. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm not saying he shouldn't have won the Heisman. Any other year, Ashton Jeanty would have won the Heisman. Any other year.
For sure.
You know what this reminds me of? The next iteration of the 1997 Heisman. In 1997, Charles Woodson won the Heisman. there were two quarterbacks in Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning who
And Randy Moss. Right.
I was getting there. Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning threw for a gajillion yards and had the accuracy and touchdowns and all of these wonderful things. They put in a new quarterback. Had all of these wonderful things. Randy Moss.
Yeah, the one to win the game.
Randy Moss had 25 receiving touchdowns that year, averaged 19 yards a carry, and had 1,700 yards receiving. At that point, Randy Moss technically had the Ashton Genty year. But we had never seen what Charles Woodson was doing in modern football at the time.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. Ashton Genty, any other year, would probably win the Heisman. But we have never seen what Travis Hunter has done. And 2 or 3, I don't know what point I'm on. Doak Walker. Y'all look stupid. Travis Hunter was first team wide receiver, All-American, first team DB. He won the Heisman. He became the most decorated individual player of all time in 1 year. He won the most awards.
7 awards, most ever awards by any football player ever, which is a whole nother.
Except for the Doak. And he had more interceptions than all of the Doak.
The Thorpe.
I'm sorry, not Doak. The Thorpe Award. Thorpe Award. We really about to lose this game, y'all. If we lose this game, I'm going to turn this off.
I was considering taking my shirt off. I'll be right back.
First down. Oh, no. That was a fumble.
Okay, so y'all listen along. There was a.
Oh, this is gonna be edited out. We're gonna have
it. It looked like it was gonna be a catch. 1, 2. That is a catch.
That's a catch.
That's surely a catch and a fumble. You need Raheem. If you could do anything, you need to go back. That needs to be reviewed.
That should be reviewed. You can't under 2 minutes.
Well, then they need to look at that. But I mean, at the end of the day, congratulations, Travis. He also went on to sign with Adidas. Well, you are clicking on time. Yes, he signed with Adidas. And Adidas, let's kind of, number one, conceptualize for getting your bag.
That's why I wanted you to talk about this, because they own it.
Adidas is a soccer brand, historically a soccer brand.
Those look like soccer cleats.
Heisman Trophy, dual position football player. You have Anthony Edwards, which is the most charismatic basketball player that we've seen in the ages.
Michael Jordan.
This is a way to clean up the Kanye thing, for sure.
He gave up a first down on 4th and 8.
That is surely a way to clean up the Kanye situation. Adidas, and I want to be honest, Nike, you dropped the ball on this. You got his coach, you got his quarterback. You're in close proximity. You got to get Shedeur to get Travis.
Adidas ain't got no headquarters nowhere near
Nope.
Colorado. And you in Oregon. You already over there.
In Luxembourg or somewhere. Nobody knows where Adidas' headquarters are. Oh, we really might lose this game. Tick, 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 tick. But yeah,
seconds,
so
13.
as far as that's considered, it just shows the like we talk about parity between sports leagues, the NBA, the NFL. There's a greater parity between the shoe companies. You see Skechers starting to pick people up. You see what Puma's done with Alonzo.
Yeah.
And all
his
of
shoes
these
are
things
actually
together,
pretty cool.
Yep. There's now that people are finding new, like before it was like, okay, I got to go to this one place to get all of my money. If I can't go here, then I'm not going to get any money. No. Skechers pays, Puma pays, Li Ning pays. Wherever the money is where people are going to go. And I like that because it creates a stronger market. It allows players to advocate for themselves. I don't have to take this shitty deal you give me. If this is all you're going to do, that's fine. I'll step right over here. They're going to give me the money. And for me, I'm a supporter of the athlete at the end of the day. I think that there are endless opportunities now versus before where you only had, McDonald's or Burger King.
Yeah. I mean, throughout everything, one thing that you're about to see is a whole lot of different types of opportunities for these players. Because now you have smaller brands that can make a name off the NIL and give you equity, because that's the next stop. All athletes have been talking about is equity. Are they throwing a Hail Mary? With 2 seconds left? Wow. That actually was a pretty smart idea. Let's move on to the college football playoff real quick.
Shots. Not bad. I'm glad to see at least one team is coaching,
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Working.
College football playoff is coming up. I have not filled out my bracket yet, or totally. I will let y'all know. We'll have it filled out by Saturday, and we'll do Saturday morning live, picking the games. But Ohio State athletic director, or do you want to wait? You want to wait until the end of the game? We can. We're watching the Falcons game. It's the last play of the game. Desmond Ridder has just thrown they caught it. They caught it. Jesse Bates caught it.
Wow.
Shout out to Jesse Bates.
Soon as we're done with this, we're going right to cutting their ass. Right to cutting their ass. They deserve an old-fashioned ass cutting. This is embarrassing.
We almost lost a Desmond Ridder, y'all. We'll be right back. We'll jump right into the college football playoff conversation.
I mean, we could hit these last little three quick here.
College football playoff. So the SEC, Ohio State AD Ross Bjork has released a statement asking fans not to sell their tickets to Tennessee fans. He does not want the Tennessee fans to invade the shoe. Let me tell you something, big dog. This is a capitalistic society. And Tennessee may not be here again. We don't know how long it'll be before they get back here.
Y'all better Kendrick Lamar that thing. You better identify them zip codes, and if it's not the zip codes you want to sell to, then refund them their money. But this is, once again, I like the free market part of this, where before, you're right, there was no control. Now it's go for it. Do whatever, figure it out. And I hope and they talking about they doing like the checkerboard thing in there. I really hope that Tennessee goes in there and hijacks this shit.
That would be awesome.
I love it.
That would also get Ryan Day fired. That means the people don't believe in you. And we already know they don't believe in you, but what happens? What's the quickest way to get somebody fired? When you affect the bottom line. When you affect the bottom line, you will end up getting people fired. You will be out of there. But I ain't never seen no AD beg. I ain't never heard this before. I mean, not in college football. I've heard it in basketball.
Yeah, until you go there and then you're the athletic director and people start asking, why are there so many orange jerseys everywhere? I just told you about that here with the Falcons. The Lions, it was as many Lions fans in that Texans game. I was like, boy, this is not straight. And neither one of these my teams, but this looks funny.
It did. Also, a lot of pressure on James Franklin. He has the worst ever record against the top five.
Dome is crazy.
0-12. He is 0-12 against top 5 teams. He has to play SMU, which I guess is a good thing for him because he plays SMU if they beat them.
Bless you, maybe.
He has to play SMU. If they beat SMU, then they got to play Boise. If they play Boise, then they play Georgia. So they don't, or assuming Georgia wins, if they beat or Notre Dame or Indiana. So they got to play all of them. They don't really have to play a top 5 team until the semifinals, theoretically.
Yeah, they definitely have the easiest way to go. And I don't truly appreciate that. I think that I'm not even willing to fight the seeding fight. Whatever it is, it's going to be. I don't think it's straight, but I don't think they're going to fix it anytime soon. So,
they're going to fix it.
Out.
All you got to do is affect the bottom line. If anything I've learned about being a Georgia fan in this season is that they don't really want blowouts. And the one person and the one group of people that like want to stick it to the system, which would be the SEC or the administrator, is Kirby Smart. Dan Lanning is another one where I'm going to try to run up the score and I'm going to piss y'all off.
Kirby violated the man on the stage.
Said, yeah, Sankey, you sent us on the road for what you did for 7-8 games. I like, yeah,
I don't care about that.
You don't. All right, well, we'll get to your team. Norwood is already copping, please. Tell me more.
Ain't no copping, please. What the fuck? Look at his schedule. LSU, and they're bringing back Nussmeier, their quarterback, and then they got old boy from Mississippi State. Yep, Miami. Cristobal, he gonna be back trying to win it again. Then you get a bye. Then you get Texas.
You ain't even say at LSU, at Miami.
I mean, yes, at LSU. First of all, Long Island. Then like, let's be real here. USF, Florida can be had. So I'm not sure if that means it.
No.
Hey man.
Again,
Billy Napier ain't your coach. How about that? You sit over there and you just sit this out for a little bit. Number one, at LSU, at Miami, bye. Who we gonna need one? Boy. Then you come Texas A&M. Probably two teams. It'll probably be Texas gonna be a top 5 team. Texas A&M will be a top 15 team probably at that point in the season. Mississippi State, trick bag, trap game. Then you get the bye. Then you come back. You get the pleasure of playing Georgia. Then after you play Georgia, I need you to scroll down a little bit because I can't see the rest of the schedule. Then you get Kentucky, another at Kentucky, then at Ole Miss. Then you go to Tennessee. No. At Kentucky, at Ole Miss, you get Lane Kiffin. Then after 2 games, we could very well lose. Then you get Tennessee and Florida State. And what about if Florida State's back to Florida State from 2 years ago?
That is the part that I was like, okay. I mean, because I do think y'all have made a lot of progress in recruiting wise. But the thing is, the transfer portal, I mean, Texas A&M has already gotten better. They got Georgia's starting cornerback. Yeah, he lost his job, but I mean, he only lost his job because there was another cornerback who was a 5-star just like him behind him, right? So you have, on the depth chart. So you're going to be able to get on. And Texas A&M and that coach from Duke, he coached really well. Mississippi State, that's going to be a win for y'all. I don't believe in Stoops. I don't think, I will say he's very difficult to beat in Kentucky. 1, 2, 3,
and we've seen
4,
him this year
5,
put
6.
the pressure on people.
We beat them 13-12.
Correct. But that's the thing. Like, say what you want to. I think you can acknowledge this schedule is hellacious. It's a bad way to go.
Well, it's the second part of your schedule this year. It's the same schedule y'all had this year, except for it's the same SEC schedule. So I mean, you play at Texas A&M instead of Texas A&M at home. You always gonna play Kentucky. That's a SEC East, but you play at Miami. The way they're scheduling now, it's always 2 years. So we play Texas again this year too. We just play them in.
Well, you
Georgia.
know what? This is kind of, as much as I can't wish for the same things, but this is kind of the same thing when we first got partnered up with Alabama, and we took them L's, and then we didn't have Alabama for a minute. And I want Billy fired anyway. So if we got to sacrifice Billy and sacrifice the shitty schedule, I can kill 2 birds.
I told you what's gonna happen. Billy gonna win just enough. He gonna beat LSU again, because LSU gonna have a bunch of new people. He gonna beat LSU again.
They got Nussmeier quarterback. He's good. Like, He may not be the best, but he is an adult quarterback for sure.
Y'all gonna beat Miami. We don't know but again, the transfer portal changes all of that. So I don't know who y'all gonna beat. But I mean, unless they get another Cam Ward, we don't know who their quarterback is. Texas
Well,
A&M.
If you Cam Ward Jr., you like, I get over there.
Texas A&M might beat y'all by 30. They got
Very
a
well.
lot of people.
And that quarterback is fast.
He is going to have a whole offseason as the number one QB.
Yeah.
That running back going to be back after that ACL tear. He going to be back.
Connor Wegman is out of there.
Woo! All right, let's and finally, because I want to make sure for college football, I think this is it. Little bitch move. So flag planting at Ohio State would be a felony under proposed law. The Ohio lawmaker, the Ohio State Sportsman Act, authored by Representative Josh Williams, comes in response to Michigan's attempt to plant the flag in the November 30th win at Ohio State. This is a hoish move. Well, it's not a hoish move because you say no flag planting. So I guess Ohio State can't do it either then, huh?
Well, this is the thing. It's a very... I'm trying to think of a word when you're not present. Like, it's not well thought out. You're not really looking at... And I guess I'll just try to explain it to the best of my abilities. Like a felony. Like, let's look at the numbers here. There are probably more black players on your team than white players. These are student athletes who, outside of playing football, go to college every day. They go to school every day. Like, you're putting them in a position to potentially get, bless you. You're putting them in a chance to potentially get a felony for playing a sport. Like, planting the flag, it is what it is. Whatever. Say what
at
you want
18
about it.
At 18.
Yeah, but nobody should be walking away with a felony. But there's only a certain demographic that would even consider, number one, saying this out loud. Let's be real. That ain't our bag. And then, like, where we come from, you get laughed at. Yeah, make it a felony. You gonna call the authorities? Because after you got whooped, they planted the flag in the middle of your field. This is a Karen move. And no, I don't want to see I don't want to see these young black students get a felony. See, people be playing with jail too much for me.
When you say a demographic, who do you think? What demographic do you think Representative Josh Williams is?
I know. Well, no, I don't know. You
I
never
just
know.
sent it to
You
the
never
group.
know.
I just sent it to the group so you can see it. It's right there.
Where? What?
Splashcast, ours. Oh,
I scroll up.
The representative that did this is a black man. So I have a problem with this because you're talking about
Beat him up.
you're talking about the flag planting. Nobody's talking about how the police pepper sprayed the Michigan players. They didn't pepper spray. Mind you, Ohio State was the one that went and started inciting all the violence. And now you come. This screams. It's the same. This is going to be perceived as the same thing as the Drake lawsuit. Not saying the Drake lawsuit is the same. What I'm saying is the way that this is going to be perceived amongst football culture is like, yo, this is a whole move. You could try to say, no, we're trying to keep people safe, and all. No, you're not.
You're
scorned.
A whole move.
You're scorned.
It's more than that, bro. Do not find another reason to put young black men in jail, bro.
Black man.
Don't be a
black man. Don't find a reason.
I hate that we have to we should be able to talk about intelligent conversations. We shouldn't be telling a black dude, hey, don't find ways to put more black men in jail. This is the type of stuff that makes you want to slap people. Like that's the reason I was like beat him up. Like I'm being facetious, but I'm serious. Like you clearly are not in tune with anything that's going on this planet, much less this country. And for me, it's disappointing, and we got to get back to just public embarrassment.
I knew that. I knew that's where you were going.
What do your friends think about this, Karen?
Well, I mean, where do you think he's? I mean, you also are in Northeast Ohio, right? And you became the representative. I mean, I don't know what your party is, but I mean, I have a hypothesis.
You're a clown. Wherever you are, you're a clown, man. And when people do clown behavior, that's the reason one of my favorite things about having a podcast is I can just tell people you're a clown and you're stupid. And you need to have. I'm sure you may try to step away from who you are to the best of your abilities. It's at least one person who knows you, and they need to tell you, boy, you need to shut up.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing us. That's all I got.
But ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of our NCAA football segment. We are going to take a couple seconds. We're going to take a couple minutes, actually. I'm going to go refill the beverage. And then we are going to go straight into NFL.
Yeah, I'm finna get one of those now, too. I wasn't even drinking tonight, but these damn Falcons done pissed me off.
Yeah, Falcons done pissed us off.
Fire everybody. Fire everybody.
Hey.
I mean that shit, too.
Hey, we'll be right back. Remember, like, follow, subscribe.
And I'm changing my shirt. Y'all won't see me in this when I come back.
Like, follow, subscribe. Love y'all. Peace. We'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned.
Static Selector.
Yeah. My city was never this cold. Made it where I'm at because them people was never as bold. Nigga, whatever I choose. If I win or lose, I be chill like the temperature low. If I'm in a room full of blessings, I mention the bros. If I see you threatening my section, I sever the foe. Smartphones pushing dumb agendas like never before. People want to smoke so bad, but I never did blow. Never gonna let it too close. Checking for my post, I just say that I'm good though. Alpha in a while, giving more than I took home. Everything I want is something I already got. So I'm asking what you need, cause it's all that I'm good for. I sit in the sun more, I get up and run more. I'm letting my guard down, the drama is shrugged off. Your boy is in charge now, I'm showing them love more. The villa is tucked off, so what you really need? Said what you really want from a nigga like me. Said what you really need. What you really want though? Say what you really need. Say what you really want from a nigga like me. Say what you really need. What you really want though? Yeah. Boy, why you checking the phone? We ain't getting service in these hills, reception is low. Matter of fact, follow me, I know the direction to go. You been out of touch, I see that's where the tension arose. Nigga, I'm getting in mode. Even when my eyes on a swivel, my head on the road. Easy on the mind, keep it simple, I'm letting it flow. Tell you when it's time, blow the whistle, I'm setting the tone. Boy, wasn't set up to fold. Chase nothing, create something and face that. Pain coming, I ain't running, embrace that. I wanna feel it all, love, hate, sorrow, my nigga, I'm tryna heal it all. By the time you get on my level, you see me peeling off. Ain't tryna settle, I want the ceiling gone. Instead of suicide, I made a bucket list and did it all. Attracting all the things that I wanted when I was living wrong. Ring my door, what you really need? Said what you really want from a nigga like me. Said what you really need.
They don't know what they need,
What you really want though?
but they know what they want.
Said what you really need. Said what you really want from a nigga like me. Said what you really need. What you really want though?
Fair none. I want 11 figures, but all I need is 7. I want acres from my fam, but we blessed, man. Cause we all got a place to lay our chests in. Really want that for the human extension. Did I mention we grown, no detention? If wartime comes, my crew at attention. Really need babies, not not to bleed you in session. Want elected adults to use some discretion. More needs, less want, pause the dissension. King shit, chakra, violet dimension. Put a little sass on in homegirls dressing. Have a need in my wants, but mine's a no infection. Change the direction, who wins the election? Can Cuba catch his breath, man? Good for your pension. I really want 3 women to lay in my bed, man, but all I need is 1 queen to rule this section.
What you really need? Say what you really want from a nigga like me. Say what you really need. What you really want though. Say what you really need. Say what you really want from a nigga like me. Say what you really need. What you really want though.
DJ Fresh, what it do? In here with Eddie Coke, what's up, man? All money good around here. And I ain't have to sell my soul to get it either. All it took was hard work. I'm on the grind from Austin to Australia. I'm what you call the antithesis of a failure. Because I'm coming for banks like Azalea. Dripping in regalia, got game, I'ma sell ya. I try to tell you that I'm about my chips. With a click of hard hitters down to watch my 6. Top grit, I'ma get it till I'm in the dirt. One thing I never been scared of is hard work. Cause first comes the grind, and then comes the shine. It's too many skipping steps and trying to cut the line. In due time, you gotta play it sweet. I got mine without the trickery, fraud, and deceit.
Oh yes, I bet on me cause it's only me. What took them years took me only weeks. Yeah, yeah. You say you grind and it sounds good, but you ain't got no out of town, Jude. No, no. 50 grand, but it's
only... And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our NFL segment of episode 171 of the Splash
NFL.
Monday Night Raw. We're going to jump right into it. The Atlanta Falcons just defeated the Oakland Raiders.
Barely.
15-9. Yes. We played the Oakland Raiders with no quarterback, a.k.a. Desmond Ritter, and barely won. 15-9, and had to survive a Hail Mary attempt, which, if it wasn't for Jesse Bates, almost got completed. I don't even know where to start with this team. This was well, first off, I'm sorry. That's my bad. First off, before we get started, we want to say shout out to Randy Moss. He has now said he is a cancer survivor. He had surgery. It was revealed that he had pancreatic cancer. I won't go into the details of it, but and he had to undergo
really
some
our
chemo
business,
radiation.
man. We just
correct.
You, Randy, dog. We've been a supporter of yours. Hell, my entire sports life. You're one of the people who, when I play football, I want to grow up to be like. I am happy that he seems to be doing better. Of course, we're sending all the thoughts and prayers to him and you know, to him and to his family. I can only imagine how difficult that is to go through and to have a parent go through it. So yeah, at the end of the day, man, that's what it's about.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Randy Moss. We are so happy you're all right. And it was pretty cool seeing Adam Thielen show up today, showing love to Randy Moss in a classic throwback of Randy Moss's Minnesota jersey. As you know, Adam Thielen started off his career in Minnesota, where Randy Moss is a very prevalent figure in sports lore there. So shout out to Randy Moss. Move on to the Falcons. I don't even want to start there. I'm going to go here. The Falcons won 15-9 today. If you remember at the beginning of the year, before the draft, Terry Fontenot said, "We are now in phase 2 of my plan." Let me tell you, phase 2 is not going according to plan. Or maybe it is. I don't know. You may Jedi mind trick us. The Falcons have won their first game in the last 5 games. Started off 6-3. We are now 7-7. We are now a game behind the Bucks, even though we own the tiebreaker. And we played the Raiders today on Monday Night Football, and we did nothing to dispel the hatred of Thursday and Monday Night Football for having a bunch of terrible games, because the Falcons were both mid and terrible today against the Raiders. As we did win, but I mean, Kirk Cousins, dog. You go ahead while I pull up these stats.
Lord, I ask you to guide my words, my thoughts as we begin this journey. Start at the top. Raheem Morris, you're coaching poorly. There's no other way to put it other than you're just not doing a good job. Me and Reggie come here every week and we support black coaches. We try to support you. We want to give you every opportunity to be successful. But I'm also not going to lie. This is my podcast. Excuse me. This is our podcast. And we keep it real here. You're not cutting the mustard. This was a win because you're playing one of the worst.
If not.
I say. I mean, I think it's a dogfight at the bottom between the Panthers, Giants, and Raiders, depending on the day. This is not a playoff team. This shows us that we could have easily been 0-5. We were a couple plays away from losing to the Raiders with Desmond Ridder. So Raheem Morris, I don't think that you'll get fired this season, but I'll be surprised to see if you're still an Atlanta Falcons head coach at the end of next season, for sure. Zach Robinson, you stealing. You were supposed to be the hot shot offensive coordinator, and we thought that it was going to be, oh, well, man, he's going to do such a good job that he probably will only be there a year or two. Boy, you need to go back to like a passing game coordinator. You need to step back from wherever you are. This offense looks terrible. It's boring. It's simple. We don't run any play action. We run the least amount of play action, which is crazy because we're a team with 2 gifted backs. How you have 2 gifted running backs and you run less play action than everybody else is mind-blowing to me. So you suck, Zach Robinson, and I really wish that you had got that job at Oklahoma State instead of them extending Mike Gundy. I want you to hear that from the bottom of my heart and soul. I wish you were somewhere else, anywhere else than around my team. Jimmy Lake, you a scam too. We know it. You almost gave it up here at the end to Desmond Ridder. And let me tell you, we are uniquely qualified to tell you how bad Desmond Ridder sucks because we watched it all last year. With that being said, Arthur Smith, you're a fucking idiot too. The opportunity to watch Desmond Ridder a year later, a year to develop and watch, and he still sucks this bad, I don't know how in the hell you thought that Desmond Ridder was the answer a year ago. He is terrible. And that's what you bet. That's what you hitch your wagon on. So, Raheem Morris, you just suck and probably going to be fired. Zach Robinson, you're terrible. Jimmy Lake, you're embarrassing. Desmond Ridder. Hear me and hear me good. Get out of football. This ain't for you. This ain't your ministry. It ain't your plan. You know how they say this ain't the end of your story. But let me tell you, there's a fork in the road. And wherever football takes you, you need to go in the opposite direction because you're just not good at football. I think it's very safe to say, as a quarterback, you're not good at throwing the ball or doing anything that requires you getting the ball to anybody else. Just not your ministry. Kirk Cousins. Now, I have quite a few different feelings with you. First one, you're going to play the rest of this damn season. You're going to play it because we paid you. And as much as we paid you, your ass, I don't care if they break your leg. I don't care if they Alex Smith your leg. I don't care. Get your ass out there. You got that $100 million? It is what it is. Figure it out or don't or move. But you can't move. So just fall down like the sorry sack of potatoes you are. Now, I tried to ride with you at first because everybody, first they told me when I said that he was mid, they say, nah, Kirktober, he was playing so well in October. Well, now we are almost through December. November and December, as good as October was, we was riding high. November and December, oh, terrible. Worse than terrible. Unsuccessful. Bad. Let me tell you what you should do. You should go to one more team and steal $100 more million. Somebody's stupid enough to pay you. Somebody is dumb enough to pay you. But if anybody pays you, they dumb as a box of rocks. The only people I assume that will pay you will probably play Bill Belichick to coach college football. That's not my problem. Terry Fontenot. You need to start referring to Kirk as what he is. Dead cap space. You're gone. Whatever we owe you, we'll mail it to you. You're going to finish out this season, you're out of here. We don't even want you back. Now, shout out to Michael Porter Jr. Not Michael Porter Jr., Michael Penix. Shout out to you being a good soldier. I know you. I know when you know when you can sense a breakup. Oh, yeah, that relationship ain't going to make it much longer. I'll be your man any day now. You got to sit right over there next to Kirk and act like you know you're not better than him. I know that's tough. I give you a ton of respect for it. I look forward to seeing what you're doing next year. But we suck. And I don't think that we suck. The people in charge suck. The team is decent.
All right, you said a lot there.
I put it all on leadership.
One, tonight.
And I'm drinking.
Kirk Cousins, 11 of 17, 112 yards. I want y'all to listen to me as I read this stat to you again. 11 completions out of 17 attempts for 112 yards. 6.6 yards per attempt. Yards per completion. And technically, he really should be 12 of 17, except for that other completion he had. He threw it to the other team again. He did throw a touchdown in the first drive.
That's what they pay you for, Tommy.
And then you were proceeded to be ass. And our offensive line is a good run blocking offensive line. It is not a great pass blocking offensive line. You are not built to be behind a offensive line that is not good at pass blocking. You have to move around. Bijan Robinson, 22 carries for 125 yards, averaging 5.7 yards per carry. Tyler Algier, 12 carries, 43 yards.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them, no, because you knew Kirk couldn't do anything.
So at this point, Terry, because I blamed this on you last week, y'all have a decision to make today. This was supposed to be the game to galvanize the fandom, to galvanize the Atlanta Falcons fandom. We were supposed to be able to blow out the Raiders, say Kirk Cousins is that he just had a bad November. He's going to round into shape right in time, and we're going to come back and win the division. This 15-9 win is a loss. I say it all the time. You can win and still lose. Kirk Cousins did absolutely nothing to stop the fact that according to NFL insiders, Michael Penix Jr. is the best quarterback on the team. And it's showing up in practice. And I said it last week. I said, I need to start writing this stuff down. I said, they ain't really been posting a whole lot of Kirk Cousins throws out of practice. Or I'm sorry, a whole lot of Michael Penix throws out of practice, right? They did that in the summer. Then he threw that one pass against Miami, and you ain't really seen him, no posts about Michael Penix Jr. at all. I said, there's something there. I don't know why you would do that if he's supposed to be the future. Well, they were trying not to dox Kirk Cousins because, of course, he was 0 for whatever. I think the 0 for 20. I think the Atlanta Hawks played 20 games between Kirk Cousins touchdowns. It's crazy, right? So you have Kirk Cousins, you have a quarterback that's there, and you're gonna have to make a change. Defensively, same thing. Now, I will say, I don't know if it's our defense is this bad or he's gotten better, but Lorenzo Carter looks like a man playing possessed out there for the Falcons, and he was not good anywhere since Georgia.
I mean, they're very similar. They're in a very similar situation. Like I told you, I would send 8 people every time in Desmond Ridder and see if he could just throw the ball off his back.
They blitzed Caden Ellis every single. He had 11 tackles today. Caden Ellis.
Desmond Ridder sucks. Like bottom of the barrel NFL quarterback. And so for me, yeah, it's not a chance. I'm not concerned about him beating me anywhere except for on the bus. So, but the fact that it came down to the last play of the game against a team that is mentally and emotionally out of it. And they have Desmond Ridder quarterback.
The fans are saying tank.
They had to be at least mildly concerned that we was going to trick off the tank. We barely could do them the favor. Think about how bad you got to be to barely be able to help people tank.
Yeah.
So this team is ghetto.
Terry Fontenot, you defensively, we're at Jimmy Lake. We're having too many defensive lapses in the secondary. And it's crazy because they don't even throw the ball to A.J. Terrell's side. They ain't thrown the ball to his side in like 4 games. Mm-hmm. They find out wherever that's the read. Hey, point him out. He over there. We're going over there. You need to stagger him and Jesse Bates. You can't put them on the same side of the field because they just go after Justin Simmons and whoever the other corner is. Luckily for the Raiders, they only have a tight end and a wide receiver, so he could travel a little bit more. But Jimmy Lake, bro, this may not be for you, big dog. No. You better hope Braylon Trice turns out to be one of the best pass rushers in the league when he comes back from his torn ACL. And you better land somebody. But this defense getting pressure.
I'm over this, man. I'm over all of this.
This is bad.
Throw everything back. Start over. I
think now where I do disagree is if Kirk Cousins struggles next game. Because what's the rest of our? Because we're down by 1 game to the Bucks.
We didn't start getting down.
Giants, Commanders, Panthers. Oh no, Kirk Cousins gonna play. So we got to beat the Commanders basically to make the playoffs. We got to beat the Giants, the Commanders, and the Panthers.
No. Hold on. Well, we're
down by 1.
Yeah,
the Bucks have a tougher schedule, but the Bucks have a tougher. Yeah, they do.
All they got left is Cowboys with Cooper Rush, the Panthers with nobody, and the Saints. We ain't gonna make the playoffs. Oh my God.
So the Falcons ain't gonna make the playoffs, which means you're now mid because you're not even in the bottom. You're not even in the bottom 5.
You're bad. The NFC South is a bad conference, and you can't win it. And the Buccaneers are doing it with no Godwin, and then they had Mike Evans. They were missing. Man, I will say Baker Mayfield playing his ass off. He's a really good quarterback. Shout out to them for making the right decision and getting their quarterback. I ain't got nothing to say to that. Respect. You know how I feel about Baker. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
Said I ain't got nothing to say about it.
No. If I'm Todd Bowles, you couldn't tell me nothing wrong with Baker Mayfield. He keep giving me continues at my job. Every year I think they're gonna fire me if Baker Mayfield show up and keep me in the job. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, so the Bucks ended up beating the Chargers 40-17. And when I say
drinking,
it wasn't even, the game was close at halftime. I think the Chargers were winning 17-13, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then Mike Evans just decided to say, game over. Him and Baker Mayfield have developed that chemistry to the point where the same defense that picked off the Atlanta Falcons 5 times gave up 159 yards and 2 touchdowns to Mike Evans, while also giving up 117 yards 223 yards rushing total. To Mike, and basically got beat by Mike Evans, Cade Otton, and Baker Mayfield. Now Baker Mayfield threw an interception in the beginning of the game, and it looked like it was about to spiral, and then he continued. And then he just proceeded to carve up the Chargers defense.
Baker Mayfield, who is 4th in passing yards with 3,617 yards. He probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's like 8th in attempts. Completion percentage is. He has solid completion percentage. 28 touchdowns puts him at. 32 touchdowns puts him 3rd in TDs. He does have 14 interceptions, but he also has a passer rate of 110. Baker is playing his ass off. The only person with more interceptions than Baker Mayfield is, guess who? Winner, chicken dinner. 15 interceptions by Kirk Cousins, who has almost half the touchdowns that Baker has. I wanted to say the Baker Mayfield experiment worked, and I still think that if Michael Penix plays well, it does. But it is teetering on success. It is by the finest. Michael Penix Jr. has to be better now for this to be of any value. Because if we just pissed another season away and did not win the NFC South and didn't make the playoffs, and Michael Penix ain't it, then Control Alt Delete.
Well, yeah, that's fired. That's fired for sure. So I mean, the Bucks, again, the thing about the Bucks though is that they're inconsistent. They have won 4 in a row, but unless they win 7 in a row, there we go. Unless they win 7 in a row, the law of averages is going to say that they're going to lose one of these 3 games. If we win out and they lose one of these 3 games, we have the tiebreaker because we swept them. So then we would end up winning the NFC South, and we have the better division record.
The Bucks are on a 4-game winning streak, and they're about to play 3 terrible teams. It's over. It's over. The Bucks are not us. Even when we played the Bucks without their players, they still almost beat us. They're not going to slip up. They're playing good football, all around football. They're not going to lose to Cooper Rush. They're not going to lose to the Saints and Spencer Rattler. And they're not going to lose to the Panthers. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the Saints, speaking of the Saints, they end up losing to the Commanders 20-19 in the most Dan Quinn-like win that you could have. We told y'all about Dan Quinn. So the Commanders went up 17-0 against the Saints. May have been 17-3. We're in complete control all the way to the third quarter. No, 17-0, because the Saints ended up throwing a double reverse pass to Alvin Kamara where he made a one-handed catch for their first touchdown. Dan Quinn then goes with 6 minutes left in the third quarter and plays prevent the rest of the game. And they end up almost tricking off this. Fourth quarter. They end up almost tricking off this game because Dan Quinn did the most Dan Quinn thing you could do. And Cliff Kingsbury, bro, I don't know why, if the Saints don't have timeouts, on 2nd and 9, would you throw a bubble screen? I don't know why you would do that instead of run the ball. It makes zero sense. And let me tell you, the Saints were a 2-point conversion away from pulling this comeback off and pissing me off because then we would have had a similar record to them.
Jaden Daniels, 25 of 31, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns to Terry McLaurin.
Who's mid, right?
And now I will give the Saints some credit. They started Jake Hayner at quarterback.
He was awful.
Rattler ended up coming in 10 of 21, 135 yards and a touchdown, which
cooking. And somebody dropped the touchdown too. He was cooking.
And that's what we said about Spencer. He's probably a project, but if you develop him and what you paid for him as far as draft capital, he could probably be all right. Then of course they had the tricky clock issue, which is surely something. Dan Quinn was 38 hot about that too.
I thought I was tripping because I watched it. I was like, hold on. So when he gets,
why ain't the clock clocking?
Yeah, like when he gets tackled, it's 10 seconds left, and then the clock just stopped. But the play clock was going. So the play clock at 40 stopped. And the play clock read 9 seconds off. And which means if you ran 9 seconds off the play clock and there were 10 seconds on the game clock, it should be only 1 second left in the game. If that. Because really 39 and 9. So it could have been 0. And I was telling you, I think I texted one of y'all. I said, if the Saints win this is the most voodoo cheating crap I've ever seen. And the thing is, you know what happens when somebody who's a conspiracy theorist finally gets one of them right? It means that every other conspiracy theory that they had is now right, that you just ain't proved it to you yet. I said the Saints be tricking with the clock. I've been saying that for years, and nobody's believed me because, you're a bitter Falcons fan. Fair. I don't like the Saints. I could be making stuff up. But this, to me, validates every other time I said that. I was like, no, the Saints clock, it'd be stopping for no reason. When they get a first down like we in college, it'd be doing that. Or when they trying to get a game-winning drive, or when if they're on defense, the clock continues to run when somebody go out of bounds. Like, it's stuff like that always happens with the Saints. I notice it because I'm a Falcons fan and I see it. I'm sure it happens other places. Like, I know it happens with Kansas City because everybody hates Kansas City. But man, this is so validating for me to be like, yo, there's no way that this happens.
Yeah, it surely looked funny. Looked too funny. But I also believe, and I've said it all season, I think the Commanders are moving in the right direction, but the Commanders are surely a team that can be had. It's the same way I kind of feel about the Steelers and the Eagles. They're okay on certain days, but also I wouldn't give my money.
Not about the Eagles, but I understand it. Now the Commanders, I told you what the Commanders were. They're a Dan Quinn team. They're about to change the culture. They're going to come in second in the division, and they may mess around and win the division next year, and then the bottom's going to fall out. It always happens. That's what's going to happen. Shout out to T-Mac and Vince. Well, first off, the Bills beat the Lions, the number 1 team in the league, if I'm not mistaken. The Bills beat the Lions in Detroit, and scored 48 points. 48-42. Before the game, it was announced that T-Mac and Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter became part of the ownership group there, so shout out to them as well. Josh Allen accounted for, I think, another 5 touchdowns, I believe. Maybe 6. 5 or 6. I told you about the Bills before. They are one of the teams that you really can't find a weakness on that team from what you've seen. If there is one, it would probably be the cornerback position, but they made moves at the trade deadline, if you remember. So, I mean, they are a strong team. Josh Allen is playing out of his mind.
That is really it. He's playing otherworldly. It felt like to me, and maybe I was wrong, but he was playing. It was like a slow play, but as the weeks have gone by, he seemed to get better and better and better. And the last 2 weeks, they've scored 40 some odd points in both
90
weeks.
points total.
Now, I will also say, cautionary tale, if y'all watch Cam Ward play all season, that that's cool when you're scoring all those points, but their defense is also giving up a ton of points. It is a situation where it's good for right now, but surely that defense has to be looked at. You can't give up 40 points a couple weeks in a row before somebody says, hey, man, that's a problem.
I think the Lions are going to score 40 points regardless. I think with this defense, especially with the Lions and the Rams, with the way that Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford are all playing, they're going to score a bunch of points either way. Other than that, they hadn't really given up more than 21 points. Oh, they 27 to the Dolphins. They only gave up 21 points or more twice. 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, 20 points, 20 points, 10 points, 10 points. Dolphins 27. 21 to the Chiefs, 20 to the Colts. They're averaging less than a touchdown a quarter outside of those two games. They don't have a big weakness on this team. And the fact that they can now run the ball, they done found another back. They had James Cook, who had, I think he had almost 100 yards and score. But then you also have, who is it? Ty Johnson, who had 5 catches for 114 yards out of the backfield. He's a dual threat guy. Like, they keep finding these dudes. Now, I will say they did play the Lions, who have lost literally everybody. Like, when I say they've lost everybody, I have never seen a team lose their entire defense like this. Not like this. Not like, I think they got 16 players on IR after this week.
Defensive players. That's not Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery going down. I just saw this was posted a few minutes ago where they got like this Sonic and Knuckles picture where they both posted after both of them having big injuries. I don't know what to say, man. I don't want to say that Detroit is cursed, but damn, man, like I'm rooting for them. My team is clearly a flaming bag of garbage. So yeah, let's release Detroit from their shackles. But damn.
They got everything won. They got broken leg, knee, broken jaw, hamstring, neck, tibia, pectoral, tricep, Achilles, shoulder, fibula. I feel like I'm in human anatomy and physiology class. Like, they got all of forearm. I'm sorry, I didn't add that in there. Hamstring. They have all of these injuries, and then they lost David Montgomery to an MCL. And now what I don't believe is that y'all up here trying to blame the coach for this. You can't blame the coach for injuries.
How? Link it to me. Make it make sense. What do you think that Dan Campbell is doing? Dan Campbell is honestly one of the few guys who I believe would get his own ass out there and play if he could. I think if y'all said tomorrow, hey, Dan, we're going to give you some shoulder pads, he'll be out there. I definitely believe that.
Now, what's interesting is there was a report came out that Vegas says that they don't like the Lions, and Christian Cipollini, who is a BetMGM trader, said the Lions winning the Super Bowl would be a huge problem for us because they have, I think all the odds were, they were 12-1 last week or 2 weeks ago, and everybody was amazing. And now everybody's hurt. But it's just interesting that Vegas would come out and say, yeah, them winning would be a problem for us. Because if they were to ever lose on a controversial call in the playoffs, there's your scapegoat right there.
Yep. 35, 45, 55 is sold.
The Lions, it's just unfortunate for them, man. It's so unfortunate. Why, man?
As you get the update from Bleacher Report, it's Cousins washed and dry. Fold them up.
Oh, that's exactly what that was. His Cousins watch. Yes. That's why they going off to they going off in the Falcons chat.
So.
Eagles beat the Steelers 27-13 at home. Good game for them. Bleacher Report is petty for the winning graphic, which was the Eagles listing in the future. We still don't like you.
Far.
We still don't trust
too
you.
Far. It's just too far. I would have a personal vendetta against Bleacher Report because like it's not like you just like, okay, I lost my game, cool. But the actual like y'all know that this is like this involves my lady, this involves kids. This is too far for me. I would take this personal. And
so for the audio experience, it's a graphic of the Eagles, cartoon graphic of the Eagles listening to We Still Don't Trust You, holding the album cover of Future and Metro Boomin, and Russell Wilson running away with his ears closed. Somebody said the graphic design team needs a demotion and promotion all at the same time.
Yeah, I have, man. See, that's the type of stuff that gets people slapped.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Now, one thing about watching the Steelers is Mike Tomlin is always going to give you some type of meme or whatever. So Mike Tomlin was getting
Say no meme. That's what he meant.
Mike Tomlin was getting a explanation from a referee about a controversial call, and somebody who can read lips put the caption up and said Mike Tomlin told the referee, "Hey man, get the F away from me," and that's clearly what he did. Man, get him, get the F away from me.
It be like that sometimes at your job where you got to tell them, "Hey, just best thing you do is just not be where I'm at. Just be somewhere else. Just leave me alone because we don't have nothing to talk about. You're not trying to make sense." They did go ahead and clinch. They are in the playoffs. Congratulations to the Steelers. I do think that the Steelers and the Eagles, even though it was a sizable advantage to the Eagles, I think that these are two teams that both can be had. Just something there I don't trust in both of them. The offense on the Steelers looks like the offense I believed it to be.
Looks like the Arthur Smith special.
And they're delaying the inevitable. They got a big decision to make at quarterback, and I don't think that there is a good answer.
There isn't.
And as much as we're not in the best situation to be pointing, laughing, and making jokes, I don't envy them at all. That is a problem, a sure problem with no good answers.
Yep. But the Eagles, to me, I disagree with you saying I think the Eagles are legit, probably the best team in the NFC now that
they just struggled against the Panthers a week ago.
The NFC's wide open. But what I'm saying is because the Lions, to me, it was the Lions were the clear-cut favorite, but they literally have 20 players on IR, literally, which I've never seen. We just talked about it. 20 players on IR, and Jared Goff is an MVP candidate, but there's only so much you can do. There's only I don't even know if you have, there's only, 53-man roster? You only have 53 active players every week. To have 20 of them on IR is from one side of the ball. 16 from one side of the ball is insane.
To go have to find new ones.
In the midst of trying to get the number one seed. In a division where there's 3 10-win teams.
Boy, Packers is fine. Hey, I'm waiting to fall off.
And they keep getting better. So we talked about the Bills, talked about the Saints, talked about the Lions, talked about the Eagles. Oh, let's talk about some despair. New York. What the fuck y'all doing, New York? Both of y'all. Not one of y'all, both of y'all. First off, the Jets won. Congratulations. Nobody cares. Nobody talked about it. It is what it is. Shout out to Devontae Adams. Had a hell of a game. All of the games in one. But the Jets, after this win, decided to interview Thomas Dimitroff for the GM position, Thomas Dimitrov, who just destroyed the Falcons.
Yo, let's be real. I'm not gonna say his name, but y'all know we call him "He Who Shall Not Be Named." We don't even say his name.
He who
out
shall
loud.
not be named.
I laugh because we don't know where he's been since he left the Falcons. He just fell off the face of the earth, and
You're the
now
NFL
y'all
Network
are.
consultant.
Hey man, hey New York Jets, do this. This is the best decision you can make. don't hire Louis Riddick. Hire this clown. This is your future. Thin lips, sorry sack of shit.
And then on the other side of the turnpike, the Giants have now had, it wasn't even a disrespectful sign before where they said sell the team. It was more of Mr. Mara. They called him Mr. Enough is enough. We won't stop until you fire everyone. And you can't argue with them because you allowed your president and GM and assistant GM to trade to trade Saquon Barkley.
Y'all better listen to what the people tell y'all to do now.
They're gonna get you up out of there, dog. They're gonna stop. What I tell you earlier, when you affect the bottom line, when they stop coming to the game because y'all are so bad, because y'all gonna mess around and get
Mario.
Too soon. Malik Neighbors. No, I had a Luigi.
What? If they said in that mess, we won't stop. What are they saying that they won't stop? Don't find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. But hey, the Giants are in especially with losing Dexter Lawrence. Like Dexter Lawrence was like the hope, and Malik Neighbors, both of them were the hope. But then concussions, torn pec, torn tricep, off the field stuff. All of a sudden, the Giants, I mean, they really got a clean house. And then Jerry Jones, oh, stupid
Disinfect. When I say disinfect, everything must go. And when I say everything, all of y'all. Leadership.
Unfortunately, in leadership, you can't always clean house like the Cowboys. Cowboys should clean house. But Stephen Jones says the Cowboys will be limiting their spending again this offseason, and their budget is really, really tight. The thing is, by him saying this, normally I would say, oh, this is a great chess move, thinking that we're not going to go after anybody, then we're going to go under the table and get we're going to sign a free agent for, a steal. But the Cowboys have proven to be inept. I think that they are telling the truth. They are giving their hand away. We are not going to spend a lot of money. We just signed Dak and CD, and we have to sign Micah Parsons. We're not getting anybody. We're not spending any more money after that. I think that's for real. I think the Cowboys, until some changes at the top happen.
I think Micah's out. I think the Micah's out. I think they paid Dak. I think they paid CD. I think they're like, well, we got one chip left. Let's try to Herschel Walker this thing.
Wow. So you think Micah Parsons is out? We are now going to have this discussion. I did not plan to have, because I thought you were going to say Micah Parsons is a Cowboy for life. If Micah Parsons is out, and hey, peace to Nick Chubb. He broke his foot. It's tight. We love you, bro. Well, I love you. He didn't really know Georgia fan, but you're a good guy.
Yeah, I don't have no ill will or beef around. Like, you're in the pros now, and I mean, bro, you in Cleveland. That's a struggle in itself.
But let's have this conversation. What would it take for the Falcons to get Micah Parsons Jr.? Mind you, we ain't got no draft
getting
picks.
Micah Falcons. Not getting Micah Parsons.
Why not?
What is it going to take me to wake up next to Neil Long? A miracle? That's what it's going to take. Same thing it's going to take for the Falcons to get Michael Parsons. All we got is a little raggedy Kyle Pitts and Kirk. You get K and K. That's all we got. Which one you want? Or both?
Well, it ain't really about them two. I mean, Kirk, yeah, but I mean, they're not gonna give Kirk. You gotta pay Micah. Like Micah gonna want $40 million a year.
We don't have the capacity. We can't. You got to know what you can do and what you can't do. This ain't for us. You can't afford it. You don't even need to get around it. Don't even look too hard and make people uncomfortable. Bro, that's not for you.
What if,
Man, here come Reggie with what if.
we trade Kirk to the Giants for pennies on the dollar? You give us a 5th round pick. It don't matter. Now we get that other whatever money off the books.
Wait.
Ah.
Because there is a point where, if I remember correctly, next year the Falcons have $85 million in cap space. I think that's even with Kirk around.
No, that was this year.
No.
We could talk about it. But if you get Kirk off the books and run with Penix, who's on a rookie contract, which is what the 49ers did under Purdy, they made it Super Bowl twice and couldn't win. They ran into Patrick Mahomes. And then at that point, I mean, also that's what the Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes, right? They had to make all of those concessions after they won them Super Bowls with Mahomes. Then they had to pay Patrick. You could get rid of Kirk. You could send him to the Giants, which they would probably riot if you did that. But you could send Kirk to the Giants along with you're going to have to give him a pick. And we ain't got no picks to give him.
Yeah, because we
tampered with Kirk Cousins. But if you get Kirk off the books, you could then go after Micah. Now, that would make they would draw me back in again, bro. Then I'd be like, oh, my God, the Falcons going to be doing this, that, and the third. But, I mean, Micah Parsons would be absolutely insane.
Oh, the Atlanta Falcons are navigating a challenging salary cap situation as they project to have $8.5 million in cap space with a top-heavy roster. Ooh-wee. And we have the third least amount of players under contract. Yeah, Kirk, you are out of there.
So maybe we can't get Micah. But if Micah's out of there, that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary for Dallas and what they're gonna do. And it's also stupid. Your Colts lost. Your Colts lost 30-7, 30-13, 31-13, right? Let me make sure.
Now, Jonathan
31-13.
Taylor
It was 13. It would have ended up being 19-3, 20-3, because they were up 13-3. Jonathan Taylor dropped the ball celebrating before going into the end zone. Became a touchback. The Broncos go down and score. Becomes 13-10. The next drive, they run this stupid ass Shane Steichen, bro. What play call was that? That trick play call to go to Adonai Mitchell, Mitchell, shout out UGA, and then throw it backwards back to Anthony Richardson, and it got picked off by Benito for a pick six. And all of a sudden, instead of 20-3, it is now 17-13. Then it's 24-13. Then it's 31-13.
Anthony Richardson ain't supposed to throw the ball 38 times a game at this point.
Not against the Broncos. They got the best cornerback in the league.
and this is the thing. Bo Nix had 20 completions for 130 yards. His average was 3.9 yards per completion. 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Boy,
3 picks. Lord, so much for offensive rookie of the year. Where is he?
Who
else?
What'd that mean? Yeah. But yeah, this is... You got too many teams that are putting too much responsibility on their quarterback and then asking their quarterback why they lost.
I don't think they put too much on Anthony Richardson. How many interceptions did he have?
2. But what? Throwing the ball 38 times. He gonna throw 2 picks. He ain't supposed to throw the ball 38 times.
Yeah.
No, Kirk Cousins just threw the ball 17 times in 4 quarters. I don't even.
Yeah, he still threw a pick.
Yeah. That's just.
Oh my
that
God,
ain't,
we
that ain't
suck.
it.
All right, let's get to the other news. Other news. Tua said he got shooters.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So
and I think the rest of y'all should get some shooters.
So basically, what he's saying is there's been a string of break-ins. I think 2 Bengals players got broken in. I think a 49ers
Definitely
player.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow was visibly.
Joe Burrow. If you got any questions about who Joe Burrow is, he's very authentic. Very authentic about where he's from. He's like Christian Laettner.
And I think Tua got hit too. And I think after Tua got hit, his wife, fiance, whatever, I don't know nobody's relationship status, but he got security at the house. He has security with him, and then he has, I get it. If you're a robber or whatever you may be, it's one of those situations where I'm watching him play the football, so I know he's not at home. But he very much so alluded to he has armed security at the house even when he's not there. And if you do it, you should think twice. I think he said that because I think he feels very confident. They ain't gonna miss.
They not gonna miss twice. And you should assume that if I'm there, I'm not gonna miss either.
Yeah.
Now, being in Miami, that's I don't know if I'd have said that. In Tuscaloosa, I'd have said it.
What you mean? You remember that time old boy ran over that dude with his Rolls Royce and he didn't go to jail in Miami?
I also know that they ran into Sean Taylor's house too. So
yeah, but I think
and all them ain't no joke, bro.
I understand that, but also he letting y'all know it ain't finna be. I think he's making it clear that it ain't me that's gonna do the shooting. It's somebody in there with that rat-a-tat-a-tat-a. And you get in there playing if you want to, he will shoot and he will not miss. That person is employed to shoot first and second, and then let somebody else ask the questions once they scooping you off the ground. Hey, come down here and identify him. You got somebody.
Go ahead and walk on out. Don't even think about it. As soon as you walk there, just turn around, walk on out like Devondre Campbell. Devondre Campbell walked out on the 49ers mid-game, third quarter, pulled a Vontae Davis. If you remember, Vontae Davis retired at halftime when he played for the Colts. Kyle Shanahan announced Niners are moving on from Devondre Campbell. They said Campbell would not sub in for Dre Greenlaw in the third quarter and then proceeded to leave the field mid-game. Dre Greenlaw came back from an Achilles tear in the Super Bowl. And he played, and then Dre Greenlaw, of course, when you first game back, your Achilles is stiff, or it's tight or whatever, and Devondre Campbell refused to go in. He has now been suspended 3 games. The 49ers were so mad. Players, but also front office said that we're not going to cut him because if we cut him, we got to pay him. We're going to suspend him without pay for conduct detrimental to the team until the end of the season, and then we're gonna cut him.
I have mixed emotions about this. Part one is, I'm petty, so I would do the same petty thing. You walk out of here, I'm not paying you. I'm not paying you to be at home while we're struggling. While the 49ers are in a spiral, in a tailspin. Now,
second worst in your team.
Yeah, I do know an NFL player that told me that he had been having a great week of practice. He was on first team. He invited his whole family out. Everybody is excited. And then he went from first team to don't dress out. And if the team does that, then nobody says anything.
And that was going to be my point. Was like, there's something it's just too one-sided of a story. There's got to be another side to where he felt, because Devondre Campbell was also on the Falcons team when we sucked, and he showed up every time.
Yeah.
And he's been on other even in the Packers.
Being on a bad team, yeah.
Even with the Packers, he showed up when they were struggling every single time. So for him to do this, which is totally out of character of him, we have never heard of Devondre Campbell being a cancer in the locker room, not being professional ever. And then for this to happen, I was like, there's another side to this that we don't know. So for you to say that confirms my hypothesis. I was like, bruh, Dre Greenlaw just came back, which means, and he didn't play the whole game.
Well, I'm gonna talk about a thing, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. So the first point is also, remember when Deion Waiters was on that Cavs team and they was about to play in Philly, he invited his whole family out, and then they traded him in during the Star Spangled Banner.
Yep.
Like teams do that, and then it's like, oh, it's the business. The hell it is. My whole family here. What you talking about? It's the business.
You knew my whole family was here.
The unnamed football players, same thing, bro. I invited my whole family out here. I did actually bought these tickets. And then I go from starting to don't dress. And I'm supposed to just eat that. So, coaches will tell you anything. And then specifically, we've also been on a team, and you be looking at the dude like, this dude clearly hurt. But y'all gonna put him out there because that's what y'all want to do, because the teams have agendas.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but that's a little different. But you have this agenda where you want this guy, and I know that he's hurt. So I could understand how you be like, you know what? Y'all baited me into believing I was gonna start all week. You let me take all these reps, and then you're gonna give it to him. Oh, so yeah, I'll go to the game, and I might actually be sitting at the game, and it may take me that long before I figure out that I'm mad. And then he goes down. Hey, can you get back out there? Excuse me? Me? No, y'all didn't want me. Y'all wanted somebody else, so let me get on out your way. No, I'm not doing nothing. Don't ask me nothing. I ain't saying nothing. I don't know nothing. And if you mad, and actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it to the locker room, and I'm fine with that. Like there's always two sides to the story. I think it's very interesting that nobody has, in the time of so much player empowerment, with their podcasts and everything, nobody's heard anything from him.
Who?
From him.
Who's him? Oh, Devondre?
Devondre. Yeah.
You're not gonna hear nothing from Devondre, but probably not until he gets to another team. It would be too detrimental. You got to get to another team and then tell your story. But you got to get to the Browns. Go ahead and get to the Browns, where they get on there with Jameis.
Yep.
And that would be a great podcast launch. Right there. You did it.
I do think that there will be a point where we're going to hear what he have to say. And I think that like in so many other cases, people owe people apologies. They get too aggressive thinking, oh, this is what it's got to be, without listening to the other side of the story. And then they were like, oh, well, damn, once you added context, we probably shouldn't have done that. Or we probably shouldn't, because they jumped, pause if applicable, they jumped right down his throat. He got an ass kicking across the board.
Well, I mean, you can't walk off the field. I mean, yeah. The last person to do that was AB. So you're now associated yourself with mental health AB. So
that is a tough place to be.
Notable non-rookie performances: Jalen Coker, 4 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown for the Panthers, who quietly have showed a lot of progress. They would have won the game if Xavier Leggett had just caught the ball last week. Adrian Cooper, another sack. Steelers offense just keeps plugging in offensive linemen. Malik Neighbors, 10 catches, 82 yards. Marius Mims finally got his start, 38 pass snaps, 0 pressures. UGA, shout out to you. Jalen McMillan went crazy, 5 catches, 75 yards. Roger, my guy from Baltimore, 29 catches. Chop Robinson, a sack and a half. And Brian Thomas Jr., 10 catches, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And I'm trying to tell y'all right now, let's go ahead and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. are good with a quarterback, without a quarterback. Find them a quarterback. If you can do anything, find them a quarterback.
Leave those franchises. Leave.
I mean, that part too, but
leave.
I don't know. You can't leave that early. You just got there. They not going to let you walk out the door.
Bruh, if you weren't good, they would cut you.
You're right. You're right. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but this ain't gonna work like that.
Bruh.
Would be nice though.
All right. Brian Thomas Jr. is leading rookies in catches and yards. And
remember, that's not Trevor Lawrence.
You're down there with it's another lottery pick in McCorkle.
Mac.
No, McCorkle Jones. Yeah, that's his. Mac is short for McCorkle.
McCorkle is terrible. Hey,
Well,
y'all
that's-
talk about black people names, bro.
That's his like great granddaddy name or whatever. But yeah, McCorkle Jones.
I don't know if that's something you should be trying to tell everybody neither.
So it's gonna be. These rookies are playing well. I would love to see. Malik Neighbors was in New York playing catch with Shador Sanders after the Heisman or before the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Something's got to happen. Somebody got to shake. Somebody got to get a quarterback. Hell, we could send Kirk to Jacksonville. Go ahead, bro. You go there too. Retirement. You can just get your little vacation.
They can't take that. What you gonna do with Trevor Lawrence?
I don't care. I just want Kirk gone.
That is true.
Playoff picture. Detroit still the number 1 seed. Philly creeping up at number 2. Tampa freaking Bay is the number 3 seed with the Rams being the number 4 seed. Quietly has kept the Rams may end up getting to be the third. May end up being the Rams are pretty good. But they're going to end up being the 4th seed. And then Minnesota, that's what sucks. Minnesota and Green Bay are going to have the 3rd and 4th best record, but they're going to be ranked 5th and 6th. It's tight. It's tight. But that shapes up for a fun NFC playoffs, though, because I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite. I think Tampa Bay could walk all the way to the NFC Championship game.
Man. And Baker know how to get done, bro.
Baker knows how to be the underdog. As long as they're the underdog, Baker gonna play. Once they become the favorite is when Baker fuck up. But as an underdog, coming from SMU or Texas Tech, or wherever he started from, SMU, Texas Tech, then going to Oklahoma. Yeah. He was at SMU for a little bit too, though. Then going to Oklahoma as a walk-on to get the starting job. As long as Baker's the underdog, Baker as he got something to prove, he gonna cook you. He is the epitome of the Napoleon complex. But as soon as he gets to like he's favored and there's expectations is when he folds. But we'll see, man. Him going to Los Angeles and him being humbled. Boy, Cleveland. Shout out to you, Odell Beckham Sr., for releasing that mixtape or that diss track about how bad Baker is. You've been boo-boo. Your son been boo-boo, and Baker has ascended.
No, the Cleveland Browns deserve that. They had their quarterback sitting there and threw him away.
Yeah.
And blamed him and threw him away.
AFC. Why? The Chiefs, I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes. I believe in them. They're the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes. I believe in them. I don't care. They can win every game by 1 point because they did it last year and won a Super Bowl. So I don't care.
This is the thing about this is, Denver and Pittsburgh both scams. Then you look at the Texans and Baltimore like, damn, why they got to play against each other? That's like Ohio State and Tennessee and then Oregon. Like, bro, don't do that. Split that up so we can get some good.
Clearly Ohio State, Oregon, and Tennessee. And then you got Georgia, a.k.a. the Buffalo Bills down there like, we got to play the Chargers. We can beat them. They just got to beat 40-17.
All right. Now, also, dog, them Chargers, Justin Herbert, he finally threw him an interception, but he at like 15-2 now. He don't turn the ball over.
We are at game 13, right? We 6 and 7. We at game 13, and you've thrown 15 touchdowns.
He also has not thrown the ball to any. Also, Kirk Cousins thrown 13 interceptions.
He's also thrown more touchdowns. What I'm saying is, if you throw 15 touchdowns in 13 games and no turnovers, you're a push. You are a game manager. That's exactly what Jim Harbaugh wants. Now,
yeah,
but I think Buffalo would be too overpowered for the Chargers. Now, the Chargers could play a hell of a game of defense, but again, also looking at this bracket, let me scroll down so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Also, with this bracket, in this case, Buffalo has home field advantage all the way to the AFC Championship game to play against Kansas City as the number 2 seed, which means Los Angeles Palm Tree Chargers, you got to go to Buffalo in December to play.
Ain't gonna be fun. But Baker's crazy enough to like be cool with that.
Baker? I said the Chargers going to Buffalo.
You're right. I'm confused.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the football segment of episode 171 of the Splashcast. We are going to take a couple seconds, and then we'll be right back to wrap it up with basketball. Going to talk about NIL again. We'll talk about NIL again. Then we'll do Hawks talk, followed up by the 76ers, New Orleans fire sale, the Warriors, and Bron forcing the Lakers' hand. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back tomorrow. That is just for recording.